From the moment I met Adrian, I believed in forever. He was gentle, thoughtful, and had the kind of smile that could light up even the darkest room. I was 26, working as a nurse in a small private hospital, and he was the quiet man who used to bring his mother for dialysis every Thursday. Our love didn't begin with fireworks or grand gestures, it began in the quiet hum of a hospital waiting room. Every Thursday, he came with his mother for treatment. I was one of the nurses assigned to her care, and though we barely spoke at first, there was always this unspoken warmth between us, like our souls recognized each other long before our hearts did. It started with polite smiles, small talk about the weather, and the kind of gentle eye contact that lingers just a second too long. Then, one afternoon, I offered him coffee, hospital coffee, the bitter kind that only kindness can sweeten. He smiled and said, "Only if you'll sit with me." That's how it began. Two people from different worlds, sitting side by side in a room that smelled of disinfectant and quiet sorrow, yet somehow, it felt like the safest place in the world. His name was Adrian Donovan, the only son of a well-known family. He was educated abroad, dressed like elegance itself, and spoke with a calm confidence that made everyone stop and listen. I was just Mia, a nurse who worked long shifts and rented a small apartment 2 bus rides away. We had no business falling in love, but we did slowly, beautifully, and irreversibly. His mother, Mrs. Donovan, was kind to everyone but guarded when it came to her son. She was a traditional woman who believed in family status, background, and heritage. To her, I was a sweet girl, but not the right kind of woman for her son. I could see it in her eyes, the way she smiled at me but kept her distance, the way she spoke about the right kind of women Adrian should marry. But Adrian didn't care. "When she's gone, nothing will stand between us," he whispered one night after walking me to my door. "I promise you, Mia. You'll be my wife." Those words broke my heart and healed it at the same time. I didn't like how love and death lived in the same sentence, but his eyes were full of certainty and I trusted that. I believed that love like ours could wait through storms, that time would be our ally. For 2 years, I stood by his side, quietly, faithfully, lovingly. Our relationship existed in the spaces between duty and desire. He'd wait for me after long shifts, leaning against his car with that boyish smile. We'd drive out of the city, windows down, music low, our fingers intertwined as the wind whispered promises of forever. When he traveled for work, we stayed awake on video calls until sunrise, talking about everything and nothing, dreams, fears, childhood memories. He told me I made him feel human again, free from the expectations of his name and wealth. Sometimes, when his mother was too sick to notice he wasn't home, we'd have dinner at his apartment, quiet, simple evenings where love lived in the small things. He'd cook pasta terribly, I'd laugh, and we'd dance barefoot in the living room while the city lights blinked through the windows. We were secret lovers in a world that wouldn't understand us, and yet, he made me believe in destiny. Then, one morning, everything changed. The call came just after dawn. His mother had passed away peacefully in her sleep. My heart stopped. I dressed quickly, my hands shaking as I rushed to the hospital. My heart wasn't ready to face death, but I was ready to be his comfort. I imagined holding him, whispering that I'd be there for him, that love would carry us through this. But when I arrived, he didn't even look at me. The hallway was full of family, people in black suits, murmuring prayers, hugging him as if they owned his grief. He stood in the middle of them, pale and distant, but when our eyes met, something in him hardened. He turned away. I froze. For years, I had been his secret joy, his peace, but at that moment, I was invisible. Just another face in the background. I stood there, clutching my bag, waiting for him to acknowledge me, even just a glance, a word, anything. But he didn't. His family whispered among themselves, casting curious looks at me, and suddenly I understood, I didn't belong in that room. I left quietly, tears burning down my face. That night, I waited for his call. One day passed. Then another. A week. A month. Nothing. The silence was worse than heartbreak, it was abandonment wrapped in confusion. I replayed every moment in my mind, wondering if I'd imagined our love. Maybe I was just a temporary comfort, a distraction during his mother's illness. But no, he loved me. I knew he did. So one morning, after a sleepless night, I decided I couldn't wait anymore. His mother's funeral was over, the city was quiet again. Maybe now, finally, he would keep his promise. I wore the blue dress he once said made me look like sunlight on water. I wanted him to see me and remember everything. When I reached his house, the iron gates opened slowly. The garden was full of flowers from the funeral, still fresh and fragrant. My heart raced with a mix of fear and hope. Maybe this was the beginning of forever. Maybe love had just been delayed. But I was wrong. What I saw next shattered the world I had built around him. When I arrived, the gates opened to a scene that crushed my heart before I even had time to breathe. Adrian was standing outside, dressed in a perfectly tailored black suit, his hair combed neatly, his expression calm, until his eyes met mine. But what tore me apart wasn't his surprise. It was the woman standing beside him, her hand gently resting in his. She was beautiful, the kind of beauty that came from elegance and breeding. Her dress was designer, her posture graceful, her smile soft and confident, the smile of a woman who knew she belonged. She looked exactly like the kind of person his mother would have chosen for him. And in that moment, I realized she was. The world blurred around me. The air turned heavy, the sounds distant, as if someone had turned the volume down on life itself. Adrian froze. His hand slipped from hers. Mia. That one word, my name, fell from his lips like an apology. I wanted to turn back, to disappear before the tears reached my eyes, but my feet wouldn't move. I stood there, trembling, clutching the strap of my bag as though it could hold me together. You promised me, Adrian. My voice came out small, trembling, but every word carried the weight of the love I'd given him. You said after your mother. Please, he interrupted, his voice breaking as he stepped closer. You don't understand. Things are complicated. The word felt like a knife. Complicated? I whispered, my heart cracking open. You loved me. He looked away, jaw tightening. For a moment, I saw the man I once knew, the one who laughed with me in moonlit parking lots, who whispered dreams into my hair, who swore I was the reason he believed in forever. I did, he said softly. I still do. My chest tightened. For one foolish heartbeat, I almost believed him. Then he went on. But my mother's will, his voice faltered, heavy with shame. She left conditions, Mia. I have to marry within the family business to keep everything. If I don't, my father will lose the company, everything he built, everything he worked for. I stared at him, disbelief crashing into me like cold rain. So love has a price now? He took a step toward me, eyes pleading. Mia, I'm sorry. I never wanted this. I thought I could fight it, that love would be enough, but it's not that simple. A laugh escaped me, sharp and hollow. Not that simple. You promised me forever, Adrian. You made me believe in something sacred. And now you're telling me that a signature on paper matters more than us? He didn't answer. His silence was louder than any lie could ever be. The woman beside him shifted uncomfortably, lowering her gaze. She wasn't the villain, just another piece in a cruel story neither of us wrote. But I couldn't look at her. I couldn't look at him. I turned around before the sobs could take over. My steps were uneven, every one of them a battle between pride and heartbreak. The gravel beneath my shoes crunched, echoing the sound of something breaking inside me, something that would never be whole again. He called my name once, twice, but I didn't stop. Because if I turned back, I knew I'd run into his arms, and this time, I wouldn't survive the fall. That night, I cried until my pillow was soaked. It wasn't just grief, it was disbelief, betrayal, the death of a dream I'd built with both hands. I had loved him quietly, fiercely, and with a purity that expected nothing but truth in return. But truth, it seemed, was too heavy for him to carry. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The seasons changed, but my heart didn't. The world kept moving, people laughed, the sun rose, the rain fell, but inside me, time stood still. I tried everything to erase him. I deleted his number. I avoided every street we'd ever walked, every cafe where we'd shared coffee and laughter. I threw away the silver bracelet he'd bought me that rainy night, when he said, "This is forever, a circle that never breaks." I told myself it meant nothing now. But even as the metal hit the bottom of the trash can, my chest ached. Because the truth was, how do you erase a man who lives inside your soul? Every song on the radio became a memory. Every stranger's voice in the crowd sounded like his for a second too long. Every car that looked like his made my heart skip, before crashing into silence. Some nights, I swore I could still hear him. That deep, gentle tone whispering my name in the dark. I would wake up gasping, half hoping he was there only to find the empty side of my bed cold as stone. So I learned to live with the ache. To carry it like a scar hidden beneath my smiles. I told everyone I was healing, that I'd moved on, that love like ours didn't survive betrayal. But the truth? I was living each day pretending not to miss him. Pretending not to check my phone. Pretending not to hope. Until that evening. The sun had begun to set, painting the city in gold and amber. I was walking home from work, tired but calm, or at least, I thought I was. The world had finally quieted inside me, and then I saw him. Standing by the hospital gate, the same place where our story had begun. His suit was rumpled, his hair unkempt, his eyes shadowed with something between exhaustion and regret. He looked like a man who'd lost everything but still carried the memory of love like a wound that refused to heal. For a moment, neither of us moved. The distance between us was thick with everything unsaid, the broken promises, the sleepless nights, the love that refused to die. Then he spoke. "Mia, please." His voice trembled. "I can't marry her. I called off the engagement. I lost everything, but I don't care anymore. I just want you." The world spun. Tears filled my eyes, not of pain this time, but disbelief. "You broke me once, Adrian," I whispered. "I'm not sure I can survive you twice." He stepped closer, his hands trembling as he reached for mine. "Then let me spend the rest of my life fixing what I broke." And just like that, the walls I had built began to crumble. That night, under the soft glow of the streetlights, I kissed him again, not because I forgot the pain, but because sometimes love refuses to die, no matter how deeply we try to bury it. It was late. The hospital lights glowed softly against the night sky as I walked out of the gate, clutching my coat tighter against the cold wind. The street was quiet, except for the faint hum of traffic in the distance. Then, from the corner of my eye, I saw a familiar figure leaning against a black car. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. But when he lifted his head, those eyes, tired and heavy with regret, I knew it was him. "Adrian," my voice broke before I could stop it. He looked thinner, paler, like a man who hadn't slept in days. His hair was a mess, and his usually perfect suit was wrinkled. But it was his eyes, full of pain and longing, that undid me. "Mia," he said, stepping closer, his voice trembling, "I've been waiting here for hours. I didn't know if you'd still want to see me." My pulse quickened. "Why are you here?" "I can't marry her," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I called off the engagement. My father disowned me. I lost the company, the house, everything. But none of that matters. I just want you." I stared at him, tears filling my eyes. My heart wanted to run to him, but my mind screamed to stay away. "You broke me once, Adrian. You left me standing in the middle of my own heartbreak while you walked into another woman's arms. Do you have any idea what that felt like?" He closed his eyes, pain flickering across his face. "Every night, I thought about you. Every morning, I woke up wishing I could take it all back. I was weak, Mia. I let fear and duty control me. But not anymore. I'd rather live poor with you than rich without you." I took a step back, shaking my head as tears streamed down my cheeks. "You say that now, but love doesn't survive in ruins, Adrian. You left me to build a life out of ashes."